but more to the idea of we just want to, different than like advertising injured call me. The idea of the advertising that I'm trying to do for my law firm is I'm here like a brand, okay? And like you should just know that this is what I do and I'm an option for you. And if you need me, call me. Also, with an injury case, a lot of times the success for the field that I'm in, but probably for the success for most fields, okay, is knowledge is power. And the sooner that a client can get the information that they need, okay, that can help them both from the perspective of winning the case, but also from this perspective of feeling self-help, feeling well, because nobody wants to have a legal matter hanging over their head. So anyways, from our purposes, we try to make it where we're an option. People know who we are, okay, and try to have that good reputation out into the ether so that they know. Then you ask, how do we, do we do pay per click or that type of stuff? Yeah, that moves us a little bit closer to the needle or closer to the button, I would say, where, if people are going on, if somebody's going online and then they've already heard of us, that's kind of, that zero moment of truth where it's like, oh, I heard of this one before. So yeah, we do a lot of pay per click and website optimization.
Okay. And then what's your take on how an individual lawyer or maybe a firm develops a brand? I mean, you've got business development, marketing, and branding. And I think there's confusion and people call business development marketing and vice versa. But then we get into what is a brand and why, how does someone build it? McDonald's built a brand and Tiffany's built a brand. Mercedes has a brand. Law firms also have brands. How do you build that?
And that's typically like some, like I find, just because I'm into marketing and advertising, so I'm looking to see what other people do, so that they have their voice. I think some people do it well, and I think there's a lot of people who may not do it well. So part of it to me is, if I was going to run a TV commercial, but like anybody could come from like another state and then just like put their face onto my commercial, that I don't think then is something that's done well. So like this concept that like we're a hard charging lawyer, or we're going to get you, or all that kind of stuff. Yeah, it's a brand, but that's the same type of brand that everybody else has. Okay. I think there has to be a brand where like one, your brand, we're a society of specialists. Doesn't matter if you're a lawyer or whatever other your specialty is. Everybody has a specialty, and what you really want to know is when you say like McDonald's or you say like any of these other brandings, that you're going to get like something that really tastes well, that's going to be very cost effective, that you're going to get fast if you're buying McDonald's. And the way that they do McDonald's is every single time you eat there, it's always the same. It doesn't matter if you're in small town USA or in the heart of the loop, it's always the same and it's always right. So same way with law, if you come to this law firm, this is what we do. Okay. And whether you're the most expensive in town because you're the best, or you're the more cost effective lawyer, and like whether this is my field of expertise or that's my field of expertise. And that's a lot of times like what I also want to do is I want to affiliate myself. I'm on a lot of different law boards. Okay. And even though like injury is my field and I sit a lot on those injury fields, I also sit on a lot of like Illinois State Bar and national boards and so on and so forth, because if somebody comes to me, I'm a little bit prolific as far as getting my name out there, but I'm not the best lawyer for everybody. So I want to know other lawyers and I want to know who's the person to go to for that case.
Yeah.
And I think like there's a lot of lawyers who've done a very good job of basically saying, for this problem, I'm your guy.
Yeah. Hey, everybody, I know you're enjoying this interview. To hear more just like this, check out all of the podcasts on our website. Link is in the description below. So I'm 26 years old in 1996, and I was in a plane crash in Crystal Lake, Illinois. and I had broken both my arms. Some people know this story a little bit, but I remember my dad, again, lawyer, pushed a phone to my ear and said, "Talk to your lawyer. He's Bob. Meet
Yeah.
Bob." And of course, we know Bob Clifford, right? So,
Yeah.
it's like, who was the specialist that was thought of for aviation? There weren't a lot of calls made. I think there, so how you build a brand in a particular niche, or how you build a brand as someone that's consistently getting results and has great results for clients, or great service and communication, I think is something that really important. Um, are those all the things that you feel like go into your brand that you're able to then put out there in the form of marketing and advertising and such?
So one, sorry to hear you were involved in an accident, but I'm
Now,
glad we're here
what
to
doesn't
talk
kill
about
us
it
makes us
today.
stronger, right?
Exactly. Part of the marketing or the branding is staying true to what your market or brand is. Like we were talking about before, like there's a lot of people that could do a lot of things to like try to get a case or try to do this or whatever. So it's like anything else in life. There's a lot of times where like, there'll be like some new technology or new way to do something. And I find myself a lot of times telling people, I'm like, it sounds great. I'm sure people are gonna, do very well with that, but I just don't believe in it. So like, it's like just something that I'm just not going to do. So part of the marketing and advertising for me is, I meet a lot of people in not just law, but in a lot of walks of life where like they change the religion like they change their socks. They change who they are by what it is. My close friends in life, they're still the same friends that I had going back to preschool and kindergarten. Like you gotta like so maybe that's just my brand.
Mm.
Like that, like the client knows that they're going to have somebody that's going to not only be here for them for this case, but like if they call them 25 years from now and they just want to talk about how like the like the launderer ruined a shirt. I guess I'm going to be there to give them legal advice. Other people are like, I'm the lawyer. This is what I do, and when the case is over, it's over. It's different marketing, different branding.
Yeah.
Um,
And I think too, people put out different vibes of who they are, what they're about, what makes them tick. And I think part of that authenticity and part of putting that out there is you're trying to attract clients that appreciate that or like you, right? So like I'm thinking like I want to work with the nicest, smartest lawyers in the world, and I do. And I think that I put that vibe out. And so, anyone that isn't that falling into that category, probably isn't calling me. I don't know who they're calling, but they're not calling me, which is great because I'm not interested. So I think in your space too, somebody that wants, someone that's going to, break them over the head with a hammer or a chainsaw or whatever it is that they're doing, like that's going to attract a certain type of person. And then you're going to attract a different type of, that's what your brand represents, something different than that.
yeah, one of my things here is like we don't with some exception, but I have a lot of people that work for me. I don't like hiring anybody here. So like if they go through an interview process, I'm usually like the last point of contact where I'm, talking to somebody. So again, whether it's law or any other field, you don't want to have the Sunday night blues. Like when that alarm goes off at 5:30 in the morning or whatever it is, you want to like jump out of bed and have a skip for the day and you want to have a zest for life. So
Hmm.
especially in law, because it is all encompassing. It's not only the field of expertise that you have, but who your clients are. If you're doing this, most lawyers, this is a 15-hour day endeavor, 5.5 days a week. So if you're not happy with who you're helping and you don't like the type of stuff that you're helping with, your burnout rate is going to be unbelievable and you're not going to have the zest for life. So,
Yeah.
anyways, I find for me, it doesn't matter what field it's in. Any lawyer that I meet, and it doesn't matter if they're a traffic ticket fixer or they're billing at $3,500 an hour. Okay. That same satisfaction the lawyer could have if they feel like I'm the best at traffic tickets. You know what I'm saying? And when
Hmm.
somebody has this issue, they're coming to me. Okay.
Right.
And when you're talking about marketing or advertising or building a brand, the lawyer that says I'm the traffic ticket guy, that's a brand. Like I know that lawyer as much as I may know the lawyer that's billing at $3,500 an hour.
Yeah.
Okay, because people need it.
Just I'm going to throw a little bit of a curveball at you here. I hopefully you're cool with it. But I mean, obviously AI is coming hard and fast at us, and one of the things that people are starting to do is they're starting to search less on Google and more through ChatGPT or some of the forms to get information, to get answers, to find something that's going to be more of a direct fit. Are you seeing that as a potential benefit or a potential problem in particularly in personal injury where a lot of people are spending a lot of money in different areas?
Yeah. So, the chat GBT, that's like one of these where it's like it's gonna be here whether you like it or not, and it's coming.
Yeah.
You know, like any technology where you may not want to be the original adopter, I would say I think there's some lawyers that are getting in trouble with Chat GBT because they're trusting it too much, or there was some people like at the beginning where they were putting information, they were using the technology wrong, and then
Yeah.
private information was getting out into the ether, and that wasn't going well either. So I will tell you, for me, my personal, I'm jealous of other lawyers that are highly adopted into Jet GBT now, and I keep trying to use it more. But at the same time, I really don't. It's like having a lawyer give legal advice. I don't really want to question the people that I talk to. If you're so used to trusting people that you're talking to all the time, and then you have a technology where you can't really trust what you're getting. It's
Yeah.
it's a But anyways, yes, Chat GBT, it's going to completely transform the world that we live in.
Yeah. I mean, I guess I'm thinking like, all right, I want to take a trip to Europe and I'm going to just plug in all of the things I want to do, my behaviors, what's important to me in a trip. And if you can't do that in Google, right, and get an answer. So the idea is that, eventually I could see, essentially this, not only like custom making a trip for me, but like booking everything, like based on knowing me and knowing what I want. And I'm wondering if in the legal space, the people that are investing in search engine optimization and pay-per-click, and people that are counting on something like Google for their total business, like they're 10 million a month in Google, whatever, that may affect their ability to compete if things change and they're not maybe staying up with it. If you want to check out more about what Fretzin does every day to help you be that lawyer, confident, organized, and a skilled rainmaker, please check out our services page on our website. Just go to the website, check it out. I know you'll enjoy it. Thanks.